Page 3 of the Notice of Filing Child Support Guidelines worksheet continues to address additional support payments, which must be calculated in order to determine the appropriate monthly support obligation for the parties. In subsection 5C at the top of page 3, you must put in the total monthly non-covered medical, dental, and prescription medication costs for the minor child or minor children involved in your case. This is going to be a number that may fluctuate based on how much is not covered in medical, dental, and prescription medication costs each month. It is important to look at the total amount that may be spent in a year on a particular child or children, and make sure to take the average of these costs so that a total monthly amount may be determined. Once you make this determination, make sure to put this total cost in the total column space provided. In subsection D, you are going to total all three totals together. In order to determine the total monthly child care and health costs for the minor child or minor children in this case, you must add lines 5A, 5B, and 5C together and put that total number into the space provided in line 5D. Once you have done this, you are able to move to subsection 6 of the Child Support Guidelines worksheet and determine additional support payments. In order to determine these additional support payments, you must multiply the number on line 5D by the percentage already set forth on line 3A in order to determine the father's share of additional support payments. Once you have done this, make sure to enter the answer on line 6A. Similarly, in order to determine the mother's share of additional support payments, you must multiply the number on line 5D by the percentage on line 3B in order to determine the mother's share. Once you have done this, you must enter the answer on line 6B. In subsection 7 of the Child Support Guidelines worksheet, you will be putting in any statutory adjustments or credits that are due by law. In subsection A of section 7, you must enter the monthly child care payments that are actually made by each party. In subsection B, you must enter the monthly health insurance payments actually made by each party. In subsection C, you must put in other payments or credits actually made for any non-covered medical, dental, and prescription medication expenses of the minor child or children, which is not ordered to be paid separately on a percentage basis. In subsection 7A, 7B, and 7C, the amounts listed should not exceed the amounts stated in 5A, 5B, or 5C. This subsection A, B, and C for section 7 is meant to show who is actually making these payments that were already listed prior, so that the person who is actually paying out of pocket for these expenses may receive some sort of adjustment or credit for the payments already made. Once you make these determinations in section 7A, B, and C, you will be able to put the total amount of total support payments actually made in line 8 for each party. So make sure to add 7A through 7C for column A for the father and put that total amount in line 8A. Similarly, make sure to add 7A through 7C for column B for the mother and put that total amount in line 8 B. Once you are able to do this, you're able to proceed to Section 9, and you can determine the minimum child support obligation for each parent. For each parent, you must take the number stated in line 4 and add it to the number stated in line 6. Then you must subtract the number in line 8, and that total, which is remaining, is the minimum child support obligation for that parent. These numbers are important because if there is a time-sharing schedule already set forth, you will be able to use this number for each parent and then adjust it based on the amount of time sharing that each parent actually receives. If each parent exercises time sharing at least 20% of the overnights in the year, which is the same as 73 overnights in a calendar year, you are required to take the number that you have in line 9A and 9B and add additional inputs to it in order to take into account the substantial amount of time sharing that each parent exercises. As stated in line 10 and right above line 10, if each parent exercises at least 73 overnights in a calendar year, you must complete numbers 10 through 21 of the Child Support Guidelines worksheet. Line 10 simply takes the basic monthly obligation, which is set forth in line 2, and multiplies it by 1.5. So make sure to do this calculation and put that number in place in the total for line 10. Then you can put in place all of the additional calculations that are set forth on page 4 of the Notice of Filing Child Support Guidelines worksheet.